Alright, today's video is changing the fuel pump on my 95 Sierra single cab short bed. And what you see right now is I spent the morning kind of loosening the bolts. I didn't want to take them all off yet, but at least break the torque on them, so I'm not wasting a lot of footage just on trying to break the torque. But to break the torque, here's my setup on tools. Here is like a 24-inch half-inch drive breaker bar. Then I got a step down for my sockets. Like a 20-inch, 18-inch or so 3/8 breaker bar, and it was hard to find, but it ended up being Harbor Freight having it. I think Harbor Freight is both of these breaker bars, which like your local Sears, or at least my local Sears and AutoZones don't carry it, but I found it at Harbor Freight, and they're surprisingly lasting a good amount of time. They're not just like stripping or twisting off this little nub with all the torque that I'm breaking on all these bolts. So here's that. And then when I break the torque, I'm using just a 3/8 ratchet with if need be this pipe just to give me that leverage. But a combination of these, I was able to break all the bolts torque, like the main torque, on a rusted out frame. Because right now we're trying to get into there to do the fuel pump. Because like my gas gauge is all funky. But I'm gonna show you. It should just be 8 bolts and then a couple of wiring things, connections. That connects to like the lights and stuff. You're gonna want to disconnect the nozzle from like the bed. The first one that I did is right here in the frame. So you can see where the in reference to the wheel well is. There's one right here, or in here. There's one right there. Same thing on the outside of the wheel well. There's one in here. I get that from the inside, and then there's one right there. And then same thing on the other side. Got 1, 2, and then 3 or 4 are literally in the same place. And there, you gotta get it from in here. I don't know if you can see that or not. Hopefully you can. And then that one right there. All right, they're 18mm sockets. More of the easier ones because they're open access, but there's still a lot of torque when you have to break the torque on it. It's still a lot of force, I mean. But I already did, like I said, did this earlier. So I take this one out. I don't know if you can see how rusted these things are. It really makes it harder, but here's what it is. We'll move on to the next one. This is the wiring harness that I was talking about. Got a pipe on it. All right, there we go. That's the 4 on the left side done. One come in from the bottom. now all the bolts that hold the bed on are off. Take off this wire loom. You want to disconnect anything that's attached to this top part, which is running along the bed to the lights on both sides. So we're just going to try to disconnect it right here. We got this little clip. So I think it's for your license plate light. Here are your actual tail lights. Power. Hold the clip up. Alyssa. And all this is for my trailer harness or trailer lights. That's why it's a big bundle. New cars or new trucks, they already come with it, like built into the wiring harness. This is an add-on on these older trucks. All right, got that thing, and now I just need this this last wire, which is a ground. Your three things for the bed. I disconnected this assembly. Literally, it's just time to pick up the bed.
So the problem is going to be clearing the tail.
The what?
Clearing here. You're going to have to get it up and over this. So like,
Okay, I see.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Work. It's probably what, like 500 pounds or something?
More than that.
Think so?
500 solo.
Huh?
Said more than that.
Oh shit. All right. Well, so heavy ass bed. You're gonna need a couple strong people. And another one's our vent lines.
It's a pressure, but this one's your most priority.
All right. So there you go. Now we got the whole bed off, and I'm gonna start cleaning up, trying to get some penetrating oil in here, so I lessen the chance of busting the line, and then I'm stuck. So I'm gonna go ahead and get organized and everything, and move the 240 out so I can park the truck inside. I'm just gonna show you why I'm replacing the fuel pump. You see that wobbling? It gets worse as we drive. It bounces around more, but I'm gonna change the fuel pump. Hopefully that fixes it. Like maybe it's something with that float sender unit, whatever. That, and I actually got another cluster. I'll show you. It's inside right now, but I got another cluster. So if the fuel pump assembly doesn't work, supposedly there's like it's called a two-step motor or something along those lines, where it pretty much prevents this. So it's either the fuel pump assembly or the sender unit or the thing that's in here. So we're just gonna it's called go ahead and check that out. Disconnected the fuel pump relay that's in the engine bay. Once you take that fuel pump relay out, go ahead and start your truck. This should run for like a couple seconds and then die, or just not start like mine did. It just didn't turn over. Like starter was going, but it wasn't getting fuel, of course. And then boom, and that relieves any pressure in these in the lines. And then you can go ahead and disconnect the negative battery terminal. And then you can go ahead and pull these this connection off and the ground off. And I'm gonna do, before I put this all back together, I'm gonna give it a good ground before I put the new pump on, or before I put everything back up together. Just showed up from the FedEx main. See how pretty it looks. Comes with everything. Fuel filter, fuel pump with like the sock on the bottom. Whole new assembly, new hose. So you got your two pressure in return. I think this is the charcoal canister, and this is just an overflow tank, like I said earlier. It's go ahead and take that off. I already took the worm clamps off. Put this all to the side. Alright, and it's 16 millimeter. Got that line off. There's still some fuel in there. I'm going to leave it here for now so it just doesn't piss everywhere. Alright, there's that one. Alright. Get it from here. Squeeze that one down. And then there's that one. And now what's left is just this clamp, or this lock ring. Go right here, lock it. It's just gonna come right up. And this whole assembly should just come right on up. Go slow so you don't break something off into it. The new pump didn't come with the O-ring, so I'm hoping that this one stays good. Or this O-ring is still good. And there you go. Here's your old fuel pump assembly. I'm gonna probably keep this fuel pump and maybe even the assembly just in case something goes bad. It looks like there's O-rings on it that's a little chewed up. I'm hoping it's still good enough. So it doesn't look like the new one comes with O-rings, which sucks. They're kind of a part of the whole assembly, you know what I mean? I'm gonna see if I can salvage these. Alright, there's one. There you go. Ends up being even less pressure than 12 psi, which almost nothing, but I bet you something so small like this would cause a leak. So we'll see what happens. Alright, so when you flip this over, you want to be careful that this float doesn't just fucking slam up and down. That's the whole reason why I'm changing this. Because the damn float's all wanky. So go ahead and gently put the float in there. Walk it towards that side. Walk the fucking socks in. Make sure you don't put that O-ring all, move it around like crazy. Alright, so I'll give it a couple small taps right here. Make sure they're all getting dug into the under this lip. Alright, see if I can catch it by hand. You want to catch it by hand. You never want to just fucking throw a wrench on it, because if it's cross-threaded, you're not going to know until it gets real freaking tight, and by that time it's too late. Kind of put some pressure downwards on this so you're not just putting all the stress at the base of it. I guess I could have threw some penetrant oil on it so it slides easier, but yeah, it is what it is. Put this out the way for a second. I just got this big ass red one, or this big ass overfill tube. This clamp part wraps around this nub on it. That's the way, that way you know you're not putting it in backwards. Hear that click, now that's on. Alright, you want to go over everything. Ground's on, lines on, lines on, lines on. This tube is good, bolted down, wiring harness connected, tucked out the way. That's all set up. All right, the pump looks like it should be ready. Got the relay right here. I took out earlier. Sits in its little home right here. Place that back in. Now I gotta go connect that negative battery terminal. I'm gonna tighten it down. Make sure we don't have any leaks. Yeah, when I did it to my 240, the seal was all cockeyed, and it was just pissing gas right out of the where it wasn't sealing correctly. All right, so I'm not gonna run it too long because I don't want to die from carbon monoxide. But there you go. It's safe to say I think that's a success.